What is going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from different comic book companies. Today, we're going to jump back over to Marvel Comics and continue our coverage over the Shadowland event. Now, in this video right here, we're going to cover two more tie-ins, Shadowland Moon Knight number 2 and Shadowland Moon Knight number 3. With these two books right here, it's going to wrap up the Shadowland Moon Knight storyline in the Shadowland event. With that being said, Moon Knight has to deal with two problems in this video. The first being trying to find a way to help save Daredevil before he turns evil, or completely evil. And the second thing he has to do, remember, in our last video, he has a new villain, someone known as the Shadow Knight. So he has to stop that guy as well. With all that being said, I do hope you enjoy today's video. And if you do, hit that like button down below and subscribe. But here we go. So at the opening of this book, we pick up where Shadowland number 3 left off at. Well, really in the middle of it. Because remember, with the combination of both Shadowland number 3 and Shadowland Moon Knight number 1, Moon Knight went undercover to get captured and get into Shadowland, hoping to help Daredevil turn good again. Except his plan fell apart because Ghost Rider blew part of the place up, and that made Moon Knight change his plan and help the other heroes fight against Daredevil like we saw in the middle of Shadowland number 3. The only problem is that I don't remember him actually being in the big superhero fight. Either way, you have Moon Knight try to go up against Daredevil in a one-on-one battle, where Moon Knight gets the chance to learn how strong Daredevil is becoming, because Daredevil is being affected by the demonic being the Hand has been trying to bring back for a long time, which is known as the Beast. But of course, Daredevil is becoming too strong for any of the heroes to handle on their own because Daredevil is getting stronger. In the middle of this fight, something begins to attack the mind of Moon Knight, but thankfully for Moon Knight, he is able to have Khonshu come in and save him from whatever it was. That is when you have Khonshu tell Moon Knight that basically that was the Beast trying to take over Moon Knight's mind. After that is done, you have Moon Knight tell the rest of the heroes that they need to pull away if they are going to be able to handle this problem. They need to regroup. This is where the tie-in really gets confusing, because you have Ghost Rider there at the battle, but he left in Shadowland number 3 at the very beginning of that book, so this is not correct. That is when you have Khonshu tell Moon Knight that there is a way to save Daredevil and stop the Beast, except for Moon Knight to learn more about this weapon or item that can stop Daredevil. Moon Knight has to basically take Khonshu back. Remember from our last video that Moon Knight had pushed Khonshu away because his life was becoming so great, and that Khonshu only wanted Moon Knight to be Moon Knight to have some blood spill in his name. Either way, you have Moon Knight get the info from Khonshu, and Khonshu tells him that he needs to find the Sapphire Crescent that has been changing hands left and right for the last few decades. So Moon Knight needs to find some clues to tell him where this weapon is. Remember that in the last issue, Shadow Knight, the evil doppelganger that is out there trying to be the new avatar for Khonshu, had actually gone and attacked the girlfriend or wife of Moon Knight, which is Marlene, and she was badly beaten by Shadow Knight, and Moon Knight finds his lady on the ground. She says that she was calling out to him and he never came. She thought the person who was there was him, but she was tricked by this Shadow Knight person. Don't worry, she is not dead, but she is knocked out for sure. We did get a few more pages of Moon Knight's past, and we had learned in the last video that Moon Knight's father in the past hated how his sons grew up loving war. He wanted his kids to follow other things that were less violent, but of course, Mark Spector, aka Moon Knight, he fell in love with war, enlisted in the army, but once he left the army, he went to be some kind of boxer, which again is more violence. Then his father comes out of nowhere to tell his son that he is disappointed in his son for the violent ways, and tells Mark Spector that his brother Randall had enlisted too. So we are learning more about Moon Knight's past. With Marlene being injured and him thinking about the past, he tells Khonshu that he will continue to be his avatar and spill blood in his name. So to close on the first half of this video, we see Moon Knight being able to find Shadow Knight and crash land his moon hoverboard right into Shadow Knight, which of course begins a fight between the two of them, and Moon Knight being able to learn that Shadow Knight has some powers of his own to use against Moon Knight. Now, after a few pages have passed by, that is when we get the big plot twist of this book. And for Moon Knight, it is hard for him to believe who is behind the mask of Shadow Knight. It is his own brother Randall, the one who went into the army. This of course leads into Moon Knight finding out why Randall had become the Shadow Knight in the first place. That basically when Randall came back home from war like his brother did, what we saw in Moon Knight #1, he was loved. But when he came home a second time after getting his powers and his powers ended up hurting someone, he came back and people had treated him like he was a nobody, especially his brother, since his brother Mark never had contacted him. Also that their dad still did not respect Mark nor Randall. At the end of this fight though, Randall had disappeared. We then get a page where you have Moon Knight kind of shutting everyone out, and this includes Marlene as well, because when she goes down into his study, he's ignoring her and she doesn't know which persona he is in right now. Is he Moon Knight or is he Mark Spector? Because you have to remember that Moon Knight does deal with personality disorder. Another page, we see that Shadow Knight is out there still killing people and using their blood to leave messages for Moon Knight to see. So it is him calling out to his brother to come and get him. You then have Moon Knight to begin to talk to Khonshu again, the god of the moon, who is telling Moon Knight that, hey, you still need to help stop Daredevil. The only way to do it is if you find the Sapphire Crescent. It kind of works out for Moon Knight since he is going after Shadow Knight. The reason why is because Shadow Knight also wants the Sapphire Crescent, thinking that it will help him become the new avatar for Khonshu, and the Sapphire Crescent is in New Orleans. So you have Moon Knight being able to go to New Orleans and also being able to find the person who is currently holding on to the Sapphire Crescent, which is some person who thinks that she can predict the future. She tried to predict Moon Knight's future to make him think that she is legit, but he tells her that the only thing he wants is the jewel. She thinks that there is no way he has enough money to afford it, and then he proves her wrong by pulling out a lot of money and flashing it in front of her face. She of course says yes and gives it to him. This leads into a big battle between Moon Knight and Shadow Knight, because when Moon Knight was thinking that he was just going to leave easily with the Sapphire Crescent, except of course Shadow Knight was there, and that began a big battle between the two sides. While they are fighting, Moon Knight learns what started Shadow Knight to go down this path, which was that he was visited by the Profile, who told him about Khonshu and made him go down this path. Profile lied and said he was also working for Khonshu, which of course it is not true. Moon Knight tells his brother that it is not true, but of course Shadow Knight is not listening, and this begins a situation where Moon Knight has to make a big decision. The reason why is because Shadow Knight had planted bombs all around him and planning to set them off. Of course, if he does, that will kill tons of people here, and this means a lot of blood will be spilled. Of course, this is something Khonshu wants, but not Moon Knight. So Moon Knight has to make the decision to spill his brother's blood to kill him so that the bombs won't go off and save the day. The last couple pages are more just Moon Knight going back into Shadowland to help the heroes fight against Daredevil. We don't see him team up with the other heroes. We do see him fight against a large group of the Hand, but that is it. And that is the end of the Shadowland Moon Knight tie-in. To be honest, this one sucks. The whole tie-in series sucks. We got 3 issues for a storyline with, to me, not that good artwork, but also that we were trying to force Randall, Shadow Knight, to be this cool character, and honestly, that didn't work out for them. But anyways, this is where we are going to end today's video. So please hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content to come in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But I do hope you enjoy today's video.